Today, we are checking out a very budget-friendly winch from OPENROAD. They offered to let me try out one of their winches as long as I truly tested it for the video. They insisted that I make it as difficult as I could, and with that, I agreed to give it a shot. With another build coming down the pipeline, having another winch on hand is not a bad thing. Let's talk about details, the price, and let's see how it performs in a very real-world situation.
Hey guys, welcome back. So I'm back in the shop today, and I'm actually going to switch out my winch with an OPENROAD. This is the Panther 2 Series 9,500 pound winch. These things come with synthetic rope on them. You can get them with steel if you prefer that. They come with 2 wireless remotes, a single wired remote, and then all the wiring you could possibly need, as well as a fair lead and like a hat and some swag and stuff like that. So as I talked about in a previous video, I wanted to kind of branch out and try some budget gear that's on the market, because not everybody wants to spend $2,000 on a winch or spend tons of money on lighting and stuff like that. So I'm going to try out some budget, what I would consider budget gear. As far as the YouTube channel goes, a lot of companies reach out and they want a specific thing said about their product. I don't like that. I like creative freedom, and the fact that OPENROAD was like, yes, use this thing, try it out, do some big pulls. They were not shy about how confident they are in these winches. So I'm going to give it a shot. Now, these things come with all the wiring that you need. This is plenty long for most people, but the way I have the FJ wired is my wires go to a Blue Sea Systems battery disconnect sort of a switch. And I did that so if my winch ever runs away, basically starts spooling when it's not supposed to because some wires cross or something like that, I can shut it off and it won't destroy my bumper or destroy the line or something like that. The current Warn that I have on here right now is an XD9000. I bought it used on Craigslist probably 6 or 7 years ago, and it's been a good winch, but it's a little slow. I've had trouble getting wireless features to work on it because I've tried updating the wireless features. The remote didn't work that I got from Warn, and so the fact that this came with wireless remotes right out of the box is pretty cool. And I don't know, I've just been doing a lot of winching because, like I've said, I try to do trails that I maybe shouldn't be doing on 33-inch tires, and I've got a lot of weight on this thing. And this is a slightly stronger winch, and so I'm going to swap them out. They have offered to send me a coupon code for this review. So if any of you guys by the end of this are still interested in buying one of these, wait until the end just in case something does go wrong, because I will share it with you if I do have issues. So this is the Panther series with the synthetic line. This winch is $429. That is incredibly affordable compared to other brands. And we're going to see how it fares on winching this heavy thing. This is a 9,500 pounder, so it's actually rated for 500 pounds more weight than what I have on now. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my existing wiring because I've already got it all routed and wired up and stuff. So this is basically a drop-in system. I'm going to disconnect the wires that I have, put this thing in there, bolt it down, and I'll have a winch ready to go. Now I am going to utilize my Factor 55 fair lead, even though this system did come with a fair lead on it. And I'm going to utilize my Factor 55 hook that I have just because I do prefer that system. The clutch system on this is kind of a pickup latch system rather than just like a 90-degree turn. So by the clutch here, they actually have a table that lists how many wraps of rope equals how much pulling force. Because what a lot of people don't realize with a winch, with any winch, is that when you have the line wrapped on it, it's not as strong as it's rated for. Like right now, if I were to try to pull something with this and it was 10,000 pounds, it might not pull it because I'm probably only getting, I guess it tells me right here, 5,700 pounds of force. And that goes with any winch on the market. The only time you get the full rating is when you have basically one wrap of rope on your winch. The more your line gets wrapped around the drum, the less pulling power you have actually. So that's why it's good to have like a snatch block or something in your recovery bag, is because you can get away with more force. Because even with a 9,500 pound winch, if I only need to draw it out 20 feet, it's not going to be very helpful if I need the full capacity. But with a snatch block, you can run it back and then you have much more force. So anyway, that's just something to note, but it's cool that it's right here by the clutch lever. So at any given time, if you forget, you can look at it and be like, oh, how much rating do I have here? So this is rated as a waterproof winch, so you can submerge this and not have to worry about it. All summer long, Colorado's gotten a bunch of rain, so we'll see what it's like in the high country right now. And I'm gonna try to submerge this thing if I can. I don't know if I'll find water that deep. So I keep a cover on this, so mag chloride and stuff like that from the winters shouldn't affect it too much. But if I do have any issues with this in the future, I will update this video on how it's holding up, if I've had any issues and stuff like that. And you're always welcome to comment below, hey, have you had any issues with this thing? And I will get back to you on that. Okay, so with any winch, when you install one of these, even though this is wrapped on the drum already, you do need to spool this up with some weight behind it, 2,000, 3,000 pounds, whatever you can get up to. Even if you're winching yourself up to a tree or something like that with the truck in neutral, you need to have some weight on it as you wrap it around the drum. They don't do that from the factory. Pretty much nobody does that from the factory. All right, so I'm going to turn some real lights on, and I'm going to get started removing the warn and putting the OPENROAD on there, and we're going to see how this bad boy does.
The test trip ended up being trails that really didn't require any winching, but the last morning of the trip, I awoke to a hunter who had gotten lost on the trails the night before, got stuck on a log in a mud pit, and was forced to sleep in the back of his truck. He hiked down the trail and happened upon our camp. Within minutes of opening my eyes, I was off to test the might of the OPENROAD winch. This gentleman has a log under his control arm, and this mud is incredibly slick. Due to the narrow trails, we have to pull him out backwards, reposition him, and then pull him out forwards. I have the max tracks on hand, but I want to rely only on the winch for this recovery. This log here actually caved in the side of his door while he's trying to get himself unstuck, so I'm going to get it out of the way so we don't have a repeat situation. You can't really see it from here, but he has a chance of more body damage on his left side from a fallen tree. So as I mentioned before, we're going to pull him forward from here and at an angle to avoid getting the truck stuck back on the control arm. The winch so far with its limited use has impressed me. It's about the same speed as my worn XD9000, but the fact that it's wireless is a huge benefit and saves a lot of hassle. Compared to the worn, it's maintenance free as well. The winch needs to be run about once a month so it can spread the lithium grease around inside, but I'm all about reducing maintenance on this vehicle, so this is super helpful for me. I will continue to use the winch and I will report any potential issues that may pop up, but for now it seems like a pretty solid unit. If front and rear lockers won't get me there, I'm always happy to drag myself up rocks, so this winch will get a lot of use in the near future.